Internet! A number of you have asked me what my thoughts were on the glorious insanity that was Peacemaker, so I wanted to watch one more episode, episode 4, to break down the first half of the show. Then we'll do the second half as the finale concludes in 4 weeks. So this is going to be 1 through 4, and instead of doing a breakdown of each and every episode, I will talk about each and every episode. I wanted to give my overall thoughts on the show. Now, this is a show, full spoilers for 1 through 4. So you haven't seen 4 yet, come on back later. Full spoilers for 1 through 4. This is a show that I was excited about. This is a show that has James Gunn involved. I'm a big fan of James Gunn. This is a show that has John Cena involved. I'm a big fan of John Cena. Now, I'm not a wrestling fan. I'm not against wrestling. I'm just not into wrestling. But I love that 3 of my favorite actors right now in the space, in 3 very different ways, are out of the world of wrestling. The Rock has conquered movie stardom. Dave Bautista has conquered incredibly nuanced genre content. And John Cena is walking this brilliantly comedic but heartfelt line. He's finding this way to be so over the top and funny, but landing the gravity and heart of some truly incredible roles. I feel like he's the closest to our modern day Arnold. In the beginning of The Rock's career, there was a lot of Arnold and Rock parallels. In fact, I think in Walking Dead, there was like a passing of the torch moment. One of his early movies. But I feel like John Cena really has grasped what that 90s action star is. And Arnold was, to me, that late 80s, 90s peak of what action stardom was. And to me, this show is the peak of that. So to me, this is peak James Gunn. This is peak John Cena. Now, I say peak in the James Gunn sense in that I do feel like this is him firing on all cylinders, him at the height of his craft. It's a masterpiece of music. It's a masterpiece of directing. It's some of the most irreverent and hilarious writing. It is able to use a cast of relative unknowns in really wonderful ways, and it's no holds barred. Clearly, the man was able to make what he wanted. Now, as far as just, subjectivity, I personally still put Guardians, like that flavor. I really like James Gunn in that sense just a tad bit more. I'm not trying to pit anyone against each other. I'm not trying to say Marvel, DC. I'm not trying to say one or the other. I'm just letting you know the pop music and that team and those things struck me slightly more so far than this has. But that being said, this show is probably one of my top 5 favorite superhero shows maybe of all time. This is my favorite thing that Warner Brothers has done next to the Harley Quinn show on television. This is a thing that is introducing me to what I hope is a foundation of what the DC live action TV universe is. I'm really excited to see where any of this goes. I'm really excited at the characters he's making canon. This is a comic nerd getting told to go play, and he's given us Batmite is canon, Matter Eater Lad is canon. We have so many characters that we would never have gotten that we might now. If anyone is weird enough to put the characters that are on the top 10 worst comic book character DC list, it's James Gunn. He's going to make it happen. So we've even got other characters referenced that I didn't think we'd get. We've got an Eagle sidekick / best friend as one of our leads. So all of those things really work for me. All of those things give me hope for a more expansive, more sprawling live action DC universe. And this does feel like a beautiful, spiritual, and literal sequel to Suicide Squad, The Suicide Squad. But it also feels like a really good jumping off point for a number of irreverent characters. I do feel like you can expand this universe beyond Peacemaker. They've mentioned Batman quite a ton. Another of the characters I was excited to hear about was the Mad Hatter. I don't know if that's a direction we'll ever go, but I would love to see more of these C and D list characters, not that Mad Hatter is, but certainly Matter Eater Lad, explored in live action. So it's doing a lot of really incredible things for me in world building. Some of the only flaws I have before I get into the episode breakdowns, Vigilante took until episode 4 for me, and that's why I wanted to watch one more. I have been struggling with the WB wanted a Deadpool, it feels like, problem. Especially there's moments where he does like long stream of consciousness quipping that isn't... Deadpool's not the only one to ever do that. Obviously, Spider-Man's done that. Lots of comic characters have done that. But there is a Deadpool-ness in the combination of that, plus the miming, plus the, he's a vigilante, he's a mercenary. Those things. But what's interesting and ironic is, to me, Peacemaker feels like a lot of the things I like about Deadpool. He thinks of himself as a monster. He's a guy that kills people because he thinks he's doing something right. He thinks he's so justified. But even while he thinks he's justified, he's seeing the flaws in his own logic. He's able to look through his own bullshit and be like, no, this isn't right. Now, obviously, Peacemaker is trying to make peace, no matter what men, women, or children get in the way, and Deadpool likes to work for money, but even Deadpool sees the flaws in that logic often. So it's interesting that on a search for their own Deadpool, I think, they found not the one they were looking for, but in my mind, a really good show about a mercenary with a heart of gold that's doing the wrong thing for what he thinks is the right reasons and is therefore going to grow out of that into a better person. So there's a lot of interesting subtext there for what I love about characters like Peacemaker, like Vigilante, like Deadpool. Now, Peacemaker himself is a very obscure character. Peacemaker, before the Suicide Squad, was not someone that anyone would have counted on. Peacemaker is the basis for the comedian in Watchmen. That's about his biggest claim to fame. He's not a guy that anyone was really looking for. He's back in the comics because of the success. He's on, my TV right now, which is not something that I never thought I'd see, but that goes to show we can get these kind of C and D-list characters to interesting and incredible places with the right hands like James Gunn's. Now, the first episode was A Whole New World. That was my favorite episode, I think, so far. It showed the ingenuity of this world. It showed the action styles. It showed a beautiful pantheon of crazy music. It showed the type of comedy we were going to get. I love that he just walks out of the hospital. As soon as that scene was done, I was like, oh, this show is very much my shit. Eagly, the introduction, the hug. Episode 1 is damn near perfect. Episode 2 fell apart a little bit for me. We're talking still A- instead of A. This show is exceptional. Just because I had some vigilante issues, like I said, it's me not being able to separate, and that's partly on me. So it is what it is. I felt like there was a little bit of pacing issues there, especially at the cacophony of episode 1. Tiny, nitpicking stuff. Episode 3 is Better Goff Dead. I loved this mercenary episode. I love the hunt. I love that we're starting to see the family dynamic in the team. I love that we're starting to see John Cena's ethics come into play. I love that we meet his racist as fuck dad and we see some flaws in that relationship, and that endears us to him even more. I love that we start to get more of a relationship with all of our supporting cast, but I'm really, really impressed at what they've been able to do, balancing everyone. Every episode, there's a little bit of equalizer play, and everyone gets a little more time to shine. I haven't even talked about the opening credits because everyone else has, but it is as exceptional as you think it is. If you somehow haven't seen it, you're watching this, that's foolish. Go watch the show. But it is very, very special. And then this week's was The Chode Less Traveled. All these puns are beautifully dark and fucked and wonderful. That title especially, it is a show where they're able to make a beautiful metaphor about showers and growers and the guy comparing himself to a dick, but in a good way, and then making that a pun about the name of the episode, which it is The Road Less Traveled, and it is a dick joke, The Chode Less Traveled. It's just good goddamn James Gunn, you fucking master linguist. Loving it. This episode was as good as the first episode to me. It endeared me a lot more to Vigilante. I've been sold on him a bit more. It gave me some beautiful, beautiful work from John Cena. I really feel for him. I love the music and the experience of him in his own trailer. That felt very fucking real. I really love where we're going with the twist at the end. I love where that can set us up for a distrust in the rest of the team. I'm just impressed. I'm just fucking impressed. I'm loving Danielle Brooks as Leota Adebayo. She is probably the MVP next to Cena for me, except maybe Jennifer Holland, though. And Steve Agee. Okay, the MVP is the whole fucking show. Okay, the whole fucking show. The most valuable player are the players. So let's break it down. We'll start with John Cena. John Cena, incredible depth with really brutal dialogue to make you unlikable, and yet you are so impossibly likable, adding charm and heart and pathos and sadness and manic energy and manic sadness. Like, there's so much beauty in the work he's doing here, and it's about a fucking character like Peacemaker. This is really astounding stuff. I give a shit. I give many shits about Peacemaker because of John Cena. This guy can act, and this guy cares, and this guy loves this character, and it plays in every frame, and we are loving this character, who's a piece of shit-ish. Then we got Danielle Brooks, who is our kind of double agent. She's the daughter of Amanda Waller. Did not expect that. Loved that cameo in the first episode. Loved where it's all going. Really impressed with her work throughout. I love how she really kind of gets everyone on the team to like her accidentally and on purpose. We don't know what... I think there's going to be a little bit more to what she's doing, but I love that we want to like her because she's so likable. And then that's her role in the team. Everyone doesn't want to like her, but they end up liking her. So I'm feeling what she's doing to the team in real time. Great work. Freddie Stroma as Adrian Chase as our vigilante. If Deadpool didn't exist, I'd have a lot easier time. It's just the miming in the suit, the giant broad physicality, all those things. I just keep wanting Wade. But he's doing an incredible job with a very tricky role, with a hard role. It is hard to do so much in a mask and a full body condom. It is hard to do so much with those streams of conscious dialogue. He's very fucking funny. I'm very impressed with his comedic timing. I'm vibing with him, except for that one strong similarity. Chuck Woody Iwuji is the guy I didn't expect that twist. He was right in front of me, and I love when a twist is right in front of me. His whole thing about feeling and wanting and not sharing emotions, that whole speech he had, I think it was in episode 3, endearing as fuck, all about it. It was the best way to make me not think it was him. By the way, I'm also not completely sold on the butterflies aspect yet, but it's only episode 4 of 8. I just don't know why I care. I know I care about them enough to care about the show. I just don't have enough on the butterflies to be invested in the mystery or in the villains yet, but I know it's early, so I'm not upset about that. Jennifer Holland, man. I've met James Gunn and Jennifer Holland a couple times in social circles, and she's so kind and intense. Like, in a good way. Like, I'm intense and loud. Like, she's kind and intense, and I'd never seen her work, and I'm so impressed. I love that James Gunn has a partner that's so talented, and I love that she has a partner that's so talented so they can make art together. Because how cool would it be to go home to the person that you just got to work and make this really cool shit with? Like, I'm really happy for them as a couple. Just like, fuck yeah, for a cool art couple. So yeah, she's so badass, so strong. She's got this like Ridley energy. She's got this really awesome 80s badass energy. She's well-spoken, she's tactful, she's intelligent, she's got guns for days. I'm James Gunn, respectively, in love, which is the point of the character. Steve McGee, Mr. Shark himself, holy shit what he's been able to do. Whether you're cheering for him for beating the shit out of somebody, or you're feeling bad for him, or you're wondering if his beard is in fact dyed, you're invested in this schlub of a glorious, huggable man, and you want to know more, and you don't at the same time. Very impressed there. It's a great show. I'm very impressed. And Robert Patrick, I mean, come on, who doesn't love Robert Patrick? Except he's a piece of fucking garbage, so you don't want to love him, but he's Robert Patrick, so you're at least interested. Action, great. Music, even better. Directing, holy fuck, James Gunn. Writing, the best thing is probably the writing. There's so many monologues, there's so many tit for tat dialogues. I'm in love with the show. I'm really vibing with it, so I wanted to share all that love with you. That is the first half of Peacemaker, episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4. We will do this again after the finale. I will try to drop it as soon as possible after the finale. Episode 4 dropped today. Wanted to get this right out to you. So, if you have not seen Peacemaker, what are you doing 13 minutes into a review with spoilers? Get the fuck out of here. If you have seen Peacemaker, let me know down below what your favorite thoughts are, what your favorite moments are, who your favorite character is. Share your zeal with me. I want to share my zeal with you. I'll comment back. We'll talk about it. So, hopefully, it is your shit as much as it is mine. I want a season 2. I want another character as well as Peacemaker. I want to expand the Peacemaker universe. I want James Gunn to do another character in this world for his next project, and then a Peacemaker 2. Bring it all together. I want to grow this shit out. I also want Batmite. I also want Matter Eater Lad. I also want the Mad Hatter. James Gunn, you've given me a lot of breadcrumbs. I want that loaf. Holy shit. About this show. All about this show. It is an A for me so far. It is a 4 to 4.5 out of 5. I am no negatives really, except for my own predispositions toward characters. Fuck yeah, Peacemaker. Thank you. We'll be back for part 2 in 4 weeks. Much love, guys. Comment, like, subscribe, all that YouTube-ish.